Petra? Sounds like a brand of cat food, right? Alright, so you've never heard of Petra? Seriously? Petra, in Jordan. You know, that place that looks like it was carved by giants with a serious eye for design? Or maybe aliens? Yeah, aliens with excellent taste in real estate. It's one of those places that pops up on your Instagram feed and you think, nah, that can't be real, but surprise, surprise, it's very real. And very, very old. So old it makes your grandma's antique furniture look like it just came from IKEA. It's a city literally hewn from rose-red cliffs, imagine that. Someone looked at a giant wall of rock and said, you know what this needs? A doorway. And maybe a massive temple facade. Now I get it. You hear ancient city, and you probably picture a few crumbling walls and a plaque nobody reads. But Petra, my friend, is different. This isn't just some dusty ruin where archaeologists get overly excited about broken pottery. This is a full-blown spectacle. It's like the Las Vegas of the ancient world, but with more sand and fewer Elvis impersonators. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be adding Petra to your must-see before I become a historical artifact myself list. So, who were these architectural geniuses, these rock whisperers? They were called the Nabateans. Say it with me, Nabateans. Sounds like a cool band name, doesn't it? Tonight, live at the Colosseum, it's the Nabateans. These folks were originally nomadic Arab traders. Picture this, desert, camels, spices, incense. They were the original Amazon Prime, delivering luxury goods across the ancient Middle East, and they were incredibly smart. They knew how to find water in the desert, which back then was like knowing how to find Wi-Fi in a dead zone today. Basically, they were wizards. These Nabateans decided around the 4th century BC that being constantly on the move was, tiring. They wanted a base, a headquarters. And they chose this spot, Petra, because it was a natural fortress. Hidden valleys, easily defensible, smart. But they didn't just build a few tents. Oh no, they started carving. They looked at these massive sandstone cliffs and thought, you know what, I'm gonna carve my house into that. And then a temple. And then a treasury. Now let's talk about the entrance. You don't just drive up to Petra and park your car in front of the main attraction. Oh no, that would be far too easy, far too convenient. Petra makes you work for it a little. And the main way in is through something called the Siq. That's S-I-Q. It's not a place you go when you're feeling unwell, though you might feel a bit overwhelmed by its sheer awesomeness. The Siq is a narrow gorge, a crack in the rock, that winds its way for over a kilometer. Sometimes it's wide enough for a few people, sometimes it's so narrow you can touch both sides. Walking through the Siq is like an overture to an epic opera. The anticipation builds with every step. The cliffs tower above you, hundreds of feet high, glowing in shades of red, pink, and orange depending on the light. It's quiet, except for the echo of your footsteps and maybe the distant clip-clop of a horse-drawn carriage. And there it is, Al-Khazna, the treasury. This is the poster child of Petra, the image that launched 1,000 travel blogs. The reason your cousin Brenda suddenly became an archaeology enthusiast after watching. Yes, this is where Indy found the Holy Grail. Or, well, where Hollywood pretended he did. Spoiler alert, there's probably no ancient night guarding cups inside. But hey, a little movie magic never hurt anyone's tourism numbers, right? It's an absolutely stunning piece of work, nearly 40 meters high, carved with incredible precision. The name treasury is a bit of a misnomer, actually. Local Bedouin legends said that an Egyptian pharaoh hid his treasure in the urn at the very top. You can even see bullet marks on the urn from people trying to shoot it open to get the gold. Ambitious, but ultimately not very effective. Archaeologists now think it was more likely a royal tomb, probably for a Nabatean king or perhaps a temple. But the really fancy tomb of King What's-His-Name doesn't have the same ring to it as the treasury, does it? So, treasury it is, it keeps the mystique alive. You might think, okay, saw the treasury, done Petra, where's the nearest shawarma stand? Slow down, eager beaver, the treasury is just the opening act. Petra is a massive site. We're talking about an entire city spread out over valleys and mountainsides. Once you pick your jaw up from the floor in front of the treasury, you'll realize the path continues, opening into a wider valley. And this valley is lined with more, you guessed it, things carved into rocks. It's like they had a city-wide rock carving competition, and everyone was a winner. First, you'll encounter the Street of Facades. This is a row of monumental tombs, all carved into the cliff face one after another. They're a bit less ornate than the treasury, but no less impressive in their scale. Think of it as the slightly less glamorous but still very respectable Beverly Hills of ancient Nabatean burial sites. Each facade tells a story, or at least hints at the status of the person or family interred within. Some are simple, some are grander, but all of them contribute to this feeling that you're walking through an open-air museum of funerary architecture. Which sounds morbid, but it's actually fascinating. Alright, so you've seen the treasury. You've strolled down the street of facades, maybe you've even critiqued the ancient acoustics of the theater. You're feeling pretty good about your Petra experience. But hold on, there's another big one. And I mean, big, it's called Ad-Dir, or the monastery. And to get to it, you have to earn it. We're talking about a climb, a serious climb. About 800 steps carved into the rock. Yes, 800, your Fitbit will love you. Your thighs? Not so much. Now you'll see signs for donkey rides up to the monastery, and you might be tempted. Especially when you're halfway up sweating and questioning all your life choices that led you to this particular staircase to heaven, or at least to a very impressive rock carving. But think of the poor donkeys. Plus, the sense of accomplishment when you reach the top on your own 2 feet is pretty special, or so I'm told. I might have considered a donkey for a fleeting second. The path itself is stunning, winding up the mountainside with incredible views opening up as you ascend, and then you finally make it. Okay, so you've done the main hits. Treasury Monastery, you're practically a Petra veteran. But, if you want to level up your experience, get a bit off the beaten path, I've got a few extra nuggets for you. Think of these as the bonus tracks on Petra's greatest hits album. First up, consider a visit to Little Petra, or Sikh al-Barid. It's a few miles north of the main site, and as the name suggests, it's like Petra's smaller, quieter sibling. It has its own mini-Sikh carved temples and even some incredibly well-preserved Nabatean frescoes. Fewer crowds, more chill, a nice warm-up or cool-down from the main event. Then there's the High Place of Sacrifice. The name alone sounds intriguing, right? It's a bit of a hike to get there. Petra really likes its hikes, doesn't it? But the panoramic views over the entire Petra Basin are absolutely worth it. And yes, as the name suggests, this was likely a place where the Nabateans performed religious rituals, possibly including animal sacrifices. You can see the altars and drains carved into the rock. It's a bit eerie, a bit spiritual, and a lot spectacular. Go early in the morning for the best light and to beat the heat. Bring water. Lots of water. Seriously? Speaking of heat, let's talk timing. The best time to visit Petra is during the spring, March to May, or autumn, September to November. Petra, being an ancient and mysterious place, is naturally surrounded by myths and legends. We already talked about the treasure in the treasury's urn. That's a classic. Another cool thing, which isn't a myth but actual genius, is the Nabateans' water engineering. In a desert that gets barely any rain, they managed to supply a whole city with water. They built dams to capture flash floods, channels to direct water through the sick, and cisterns to store it. They were basically the MacGyvers of hydrology. Without their skills, Petra simply couldn't have existed. So, the real treasure of Petra? It was water. Deep, I know. Then there's the whole lost city narrative. Petra was never truly lost to the local Bedouin tribes who lived in the area. They knew it was there. They used the caves and tombs. It was lost to the Western world for about 500 years. So there you have it, Petra, the Rose City, carved by ancient hipsters with a flair for the dramatic, home to Indiana Jones's fictional adventures and very real architectural wonders. Hopefully by now you're convinced it's slightly more impressive than a new flavor of feline kibble. It's one of those places that genuinely lives up to the hype. It's not just a collection of old stones, it's an experience. A journey back in time. A testament to what humans can achieve with a bit of rock, a lot of ingenuity, and presumably some very sore hands. Why should Petra be on your bucket list? Because there's nothing else quite like it on Earth. The sheer scale of the place, the artistry of the carvings, the drama of its setting, it all combines to create something truly unique. It's a history lesson you can walk through, a geography lesson that will blow your mind, and an art class taught by masters from 2 millennia ago. It's a place that will make you feel small in the face of history, yet inspired by human creativity. And let's be honest, the photos you'll get will make your friends insanely jealous. That's always a bonus. From the breathtaking reveal of the treasury at the end of the Sikh, to the lung-busting, view-rewarding climb to the monastery, Petra delivers one wow moment after another. It's more than just ticking off a wonder of the world. It's about connecting with a civilization that thrived in one of the harshest environments, leaving behind a legacy that continues to astound us today. It's about wandering through ancient streets, imagining the hustle and bustle of traders, and feeling the echoes of the past in the silent stones.